Guys, what is going on today? Dustin here. Got the Duramax behind me and we've got a little project to do on it. So what we're actually going to do is add some coolant, and I wanted to take the time to show you guys how to bleed the air out of your coolant system on a Duramax like this. And I know this will pretty much apply from the 01s to the 07 Classic. The newer ones, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure it's a similar method. So obviously, first things first, pop the hood. We're going to go over here. What I believe, the reason I believe we're low on coolant is I had actually changed the thermostats out on this pickup, and whenever I was doing so, I lost a little bit of coolant, and I had a little bit more to add in here, but I don't think it was quite enough because I had a little scare the other day. I noticed the low coolant light came on inside the truck, which just shows where the mileage usually shows. But regardless, I think what happened is, of course, changing the thermostats allowed air to get in the system, and I didn't bleed it properly, so I needed to do that and need to take the time now to do that. As you want to make sure you do this whenever it's cold. So first things first, let's remove the cap where we're going to put in our antifreeze, or Dex Cool is what we're using today. So I've got the cap off. You can see in there that we are a little bit low. So now we need to come over here to the bleeder screw and remove this guy, which, by the way, this bleeder screw right here on top of the thermostat housing is a 12mm bolt. So once you break it loose, it's pretty easy to take out. Just like so. And really, it looks like most of the air is out of the system, probably because I've drove it around. But once you take this screw out, typically you're not going to have antifreeze coming out like what you saw here. So what you want to do is set your bleeder screw off to the side. We're going to take our antifreeze, brand new here. I'm going to leave a link down in the description if you guys want to check this stuff out. This is actually the concentrate. It's not the 50/50. I recommend buying the concentrate. You get a better price, better bang for your buck. So basically what you can do is you can take this concentrate, put a whole gallon in your system, then take a gallon of fresh, drinkable water and pour in your system. Preferably distilled water if you can get it, but it's a lot cheaper than buying the 50/50 jug. So all I'm going to do is open up my antifreeze and start pouring it in. Start pouring it in the coolant reservoir over here, and you guys can watch that. And as soon as you start seeing coolant come out of there, that means you've got the air out. Which you guys can see there, coolant's coming out, and pretty much it already was before I even started the video. But nonetheless, that's what you're looking for right there, is coolant to come out. As soon as it does, you simply take your bleeder screw, put it back on, tighten that guy down. I don't know the exact torque specs. As long as you get it tightened down good and check it and make sure it's not leaking, you'll be just fine. So, I had actually done this before, but here's the trick that I think most people probably don't think about. So even though you bled the air out of the system, at least up to this point, what you need to do now is you need to turn the truck on and rev it to about 3,000 RPM a few times for a few seconds. What that does is it forces some of the bubbles out of your system, whether you drained it and for whatever reason the air may have compromised the system. So in doing so, the air is going to come back over to your coolant tank here, and that air that was in the system gets replaced with coolant. So that's why your coolant may go down here. So guys, obviously I live in a residential neighborhood here. This thing is really loud since it's straight piped. It's a straight piped LB7, so it's pretty darn loud. So I'm not exactly just going to sit on here and rev on this thing to, you know, aggravate all my neighbors. So another option you have is to fire the truck up, take it for a spin down the road somewhere that you can get it on a straight stretch to rev it up a little bit. Of course, you want to wait till it's a little bit warm, If you're concerned that you are that low on coolant, take some coolant with you, and you can fill it up on the side of the road. This guy wasn't that low, so whenever the low coolant light came on, I still had just a bit in my reservoir tank. So basically, I just needed to top this truck off to get it where it needed to be. So since we've got the bleeder screw in place, and this truck has been ran a little while to kind of burp some of the air bubbles out of it, I'm going to go ahead and top off the coolant tank and we'll be done. Alright, so just topped off the coolant reservoir here. Just look on the side over here, fill it up to where the cold spot is. Like I say, I do recommend doing this whenever it's cold. And go ahead and put your cap back on. And once you've done that, you're good for either another 5 years or 150,000 miles, guys. Like I say, I'm going to leave a link in the description for you guys. If you found this video helpful, please do consider purchasing from the link. It does help support the channel, support this build on this truck that we've got going on here. But you can also pick this up in the store. Most auto parts stores carry it. But I do recommend, if you've already got the Dex Cool in there, don't mix it with any sort of other antifreeze. Go ahead and put the Dex Cool in there. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. Share this with your friends so they know how to add coolant to their system and properly bleed it on these Duramax diesels. And I will catch you in the next one, guys. Take care.